Before we get into some Bears OTAs winners and losers, we have a subscriber battle going on here at Chat Sports this week. Giants Now challenge us. Marshall Green was like, I bet I can get more subscribers than you this week. And so far, he's right. He's got 126 new subs. We have 109. So we got to catch up to the damn Giants. I'm already pissed, or still pissed from losing to them last year. Shout out Halas Jones for muffing that punt. But let's catch up in subscribers and surpass Giants Now and new subs this week. With that being said, let's jump in to today's show. What's up, Bears fans? Harrison Graham here. Another episode of Chicago Bears Now coming at you here on a Friday. Today's show is presented by Manscaped. Perfect Father's Day gift is any men's grooming product from Manscaped. Go check it out. Promo code Bears20 to get 20% off at checkout. On today's show, Bears OTAs winners and losers. Chicago wrapped things up on Thursday after having a Monday-Tuesday practice, and then day off Wednesday, and then practice on Thursday. So we'll kind of recap a little bit some of the news and notes and take a look at some winners and losers based on the information we have. Remember, media only has 1 day of access, so we obviously don't have like every single play at our disposal that happened, but good amount of information is out, so we'll discuss that here. Let's get to some winners first, and I think Justin Fields is where we have to start. Him taking more command of this offense, having a strong practice, especially on Tuesday. But Matt Eberflus telling us on Tuesday as well that Justin Fields has really taken a step forward in his eyes, which I think is something nice to see. He's starting to build that chemistry with DJ Moore. We'll get to more here in just a little bit as well. But Justin Fields, I think, has to be an OTAs winners and really just an off-season winner, right? I mean, the guy has gotten more talent around him. Seems like he's in a good place with this offense. He spoke to that as well, saying that year 2 in the system is big. And look, no one rocks a better visor at practice than Justin Fields. That's just a flat-out fact. I mean, these pictures alone makes him a OTAs Week 1 winner, just with the swag and with the drip. Here's Flus on his quarterback. He said, you can just see good execution. They're all on the same page. You can just feel that rep, and it's the consistency of it. It's not just one time. It's pretty much every time. That feels significant to me. Like, when it's 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, the offense should have the advantage, especially in those 7s. And if the passing game's starting to really build rep after rep after rep, and we talked about it last year, I'll say it again this year, like, you want to stack days and weeks of good practices if you are Justin Fields, and it seems like early on he's starting to do just that. How many touchdown passes for Fields in 2023? What do you guys think? He had 17 touchdown passes last year. I'll go 22. Give me 5 more. He'll still rush for 8+, so 30 total in my opinion. 22 passing touchdowns. What say you? Let me know in the comments. Let's go to his partner in crime now. That is DJ Moore, who also, by the way, just an elite visor game. I mean, the Bears color scheme is also always elite, but you get the orange visor there. I think the NFL is going to have to approve these on game days because it's just too good of a look not to. But DJ Moore saying that good start in terms of building that chemistry with this quarterback. Obviously, him and Fields have been hanging out a lot and have been, working out together. But to kind of get those real live reps going and connecting, obviously we talked about it the other day, but Fields, the highlight of the day on Tuesday was hitting DJ Moore on a deep ball. And according to reports, they were connecting early and often in that practice. So you love to see that, and that's what you need out of your number 1 receiver. You need him to be a reliable weapon for your quarterback. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball as we continue with our Bears OTAs winners. Tremaine Edmunds, who I just think this kid's going to be a stud, man. And people forget he's 24. He's going to be 25 this season. Like, he's got 4 years of experience, and he's still, you could argue, entering his prime. He had a nice interception in red zone defense off of P.J. Walker, who may or may not be a loser for that play. We'll get to that in a minute. But might have been a pick 6 as well. It's hard to know when they're not tackling, but he had an army of blockers in front of him. It definitely would have been a long return as well. And that's the hits principles in general, right? Like, get takeaways, run the ball back when you get those takeaways. So Flus is going to love that. And you listen to him at the press conference too. He's just becoming a leader for this football team. So that's very, very exciting. Shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. Father's Day is just around the corner. And look, I'll be honest, I never know what the hell to get my dad when it's Father's Day because, guys they don't need like a materialistic thing. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, collect another hat and just put it on my shelf? Well, Manscaped has products that can be used all the time. The Beard Hedger is my favorite beard trimming product I've ever found, and my dad in the last year or so has become a beard guy himself. So I've already ordered him one of these. Don't tell him. Hopefully he's not watching this episode. That way he can keep his beard nice and trimmed. Use code BEARS20 to get 20% off plus free shipping at checkout. They've got other items as well, like the Lawnmower 4.0 below the waist grooming there. Tons of products you can check out. Promo code BEARS20 at manscaped.com. Okay, a couple more winners here. Ja'Tyre Carter, the second-year guard, 7th-round pick out of Southern last year, who made the team, was usually a game day inactive, but they kept him on the 53. He was able to beat out guys like Zach Thomas, who are no longer here. But the reason he's a winner is he got first-team reps this week, a good amount of them, at right guard with Nate Davis absent. Davis was not in attendance there, so Ja'Tyre Carter was the guy who plugged in, which is good for him, right? Because you look at the offensive line, you would have thought, okay, maybe they'll slide Lucas Patrick over to guard or Cody Whitehair to get more reps, but I think they're focusing on Whitehair and Patrick at center. For Carter to get those reps, it's a big opportunity for him. Young guys, you got to take advantage of those. So for him to plug in there and get those opportunities, I think is pretty significant. And by the way, he got those over a guy like Alex Leatherwood and Larry Borum, guys who have been here. So that's interesting as well. DeMarcus Walker is our next and final OTA winner, at least that we're focusing on. There's certainly more guys we could have discussed. But according to reports, Walker looked explosive. Now, offensive and defensive line play, it's kind of hard to gauge at these things. There's no contact. But he was able to get past Leatherwood for what would have been a sack of P.J. Walker. Again, they're not hitting the quarterback, but showed off the speed there. And look, DeMarcus Walker, at least up to this point, is the most proven pass rusher you have. They brought him in from Tennessee, had a nice season last year with 7 sacks, 16 quarterback hits. And you need him to deliver if you are Chicago. Because let's be honest, the defensive line on paper is your weakest position group. There's no doubt about it. I think the interior will be better. I think the run defense will be better with guys like Billings, Dexter, and Pickens, and the linebackers you have now. But the pass rush is still very much a question mark, and they're banking on DeMarcus Walker to help in that area. Like, they need him to be 7, 8, 9 sacks this year to improve on that 20 sack total this team had last year, which was pretty by far the lowest in the NFL. With winners in life, there are sometimes losers. And listen, let me just say this with a grain of salt. It's harder to find negative things at OTAs because it's the time of year where it's like everyone's feeling good about themselves. All 32 NFL teams think they can compete for a Super Bowl. But the reason I'll mention Velus Jones is not necessarily anything he did at practice, but with that new special teams rule that we discussed the other day where you can now call fair catches on kickoffs. Well, and get the ball to 25. Well, Velus Jones' biggest attribute is as a kick returner, not even a punt returner, a kick returner. That's the thing he did best last year. So if the Bears start implementing more fair catches, he loses value there. He struggled as a pure receiver last year with some drops and route running, so he needs to improve there. And he struggled as a punt returner, muffed 3 punts, so he really needs to clean up that area if he wants to win that job back, and he needs to improve as a receiver. The point being, this is a big offseason for Velus. I have no reason to believe he had a bad week of practice, but with that new rule, he really needs to lock in and clean up some of those deficiencies that he had last year. Do you guys believe in Velus Jones? It's a simple question. Type B for believe or D for don't. I'm still hopeful, but the good news is the Bears made moves where if Velus doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. They've got other receivers, other return options like Tyler Scott that they can throw out there. So B for believe, D for don't. Still hopeful, but he's going to have to prove it. P.J. Walker, we talked about Tremaine Edmunds picking him off, and really that's the only reason. An interception in OTAs isn't a big deal, but red zone execution, you don't want to turn the ball over in the red area because at worst you want to settle for 3, get the field goal there. So the clip kind of emerged on Twitter. It was pretty clear he forced it. There was a lot of traffic there. Edmunds kind of read the eyes and just jumped it. So take care of the football in the red area, especially keep that clean. clean, especially as a backup. Like when you're a backup, you don't want to be forcing the issue. Just run the offense, take what's there, move on to the next play. Still like Walker as a backup, but you got to clean up those things. And then Jalen Johnson, last one. He's not in attendance, so calling him a OTA loser isn't, again, based on play, but he wants a new contract, and if he doesn't get one, then obviously that's a loss for him. He wants to get that contract extension. I think that's why he's holding out of OTAs. Now, Matt Eberflus was asked if he would be at mandatory minicamp here in a few weeks. Obviously, 2 more OTA sessions the next couple weeks, and then it's mandatory minicamp in mid-June. And he said, ask him in terms of if Johnson will be there. So I didn't get the sense that Flus was upset that Johnson, Nate Davis, and a couple other guys weren't there. But I think he did kind of mention, we're going to coach the guys that do show up. So kind of a little hey, get here sooner rather than later thing. So I don't think there's anything to worry about till minicamp. But if he's not there, then he's subject to fine, and that could heat things up a bit. Will Jalen Johnson get extended before training camp? Let me know what you guys think. Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I still think he does. I think Poles wants him here. He said as much. I think keeping him makes a ton of sense. He's been a good player for you, so I think he does get extended, and hopefully that does happen before camp. All right, guys, that's it. Enjoy your weekend coming up. Chicago's great. They're great weather recently, so take advantage of that. My name is Harrison Graham. I will see you guys soon here on the channel.